Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Today, let's ask the question, is it possible to overdress when meeting a client or going to a job interview? Alright, so last week we did episode number 436, which was called We Shouldn't Ignore the Little Things. And that's the one where I was in a shopping center buying a new suit because my other suits were either didn't fit me anymore or they were so old they were threadbare. And I talked about how, although it doesn't make sense from a logical point of view, those little things like wearing a suit when you meet with a client do make a big difference, right? And there was a really good comment that came in on that video from Jonas Persson, who said, "So true, Eric. But with the suit, don't you ever experience the opposite? I mean, you feel overdressed or perceived as a sales guy that don't know that much when wearing it?" Actually, yeah, sometimes I do. And sometimes when I go meet a new client, so my policy is I always wear a suit when I meet a new client. Not if they come here, but every time when I meet with them, because I just want to make that good first impression. But sometimes you'll get there and you're actually overdressed. So sometimes I'll be sitting in a lobby of a building or out in the parking lot and I'll be looking, you know, I'm overdressed for this. So I'll take the tie off and unbutton the top button. And if I have the car with me, then I can just take the jacket off and leave it in the car. But my whole thing is, I'd much rather be overdressed than underdressed. Because if you've ever gone to a client meeting and you're completely inappropriately dressed, like you're wearing jeans and a t-shirt and everybody else is wearing a suit, it's really uncomfortable and you start getting really defensive and you can't think right. You just can't do things right. Whereas if you go into a building and let's say they're a startup and they're all jeans and t-shirts and you're wearing a suit with the open collar, right? It doesn't feel that bad. I mean, just like, you know, it just is what it is, and I don't really have that much of a problem with it. And there have been times where I've gone to a meeting and I had a tie on and nobody else had a tie, and somebody mentioned it. "Oh, I didn't know you were going to wear a tie to this meeting." And then I just said, "I just want you guys to see me wearing the tie. Now I could take it off." And then just like as a nice little icebreaker, or try to joke about it, because there's nothing embarrassing about trying a little bit too hard. What's embarrassing is if you don't try hard enough. That's always my opinion. So I once had to interview somebody. I mean, so for job interviews, I think you should always wear a suit, especially if it's a software programmer job, right? Just my experience. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's because I'm old. Maybe, you know, because I'm in my 40s, I'm just old school, but that's just the way that I think, right? Because I once had to interview somebody for a job. I was working in this consultancy and we were working for another client and I was the only JavaScript developer. So we had to hire another JavaScript developer. So we had all these candidates, all these CVs, and we had one candidate where for whatever reason, it was a good reason, I can't remember what the reason was, he couldn't make it to the office in central Oxford. So I had to meet him in a cafe on the outskirts of Oxford to do the first technical interview. So at the end of the day, I went to the cafe and we met up, and I was dressed like I am now, you know, my 40-year-old guy outfit, you know, button-down shirt, jeans, whatever. And he showed up in a t-shirt and the shorts that go down to the knees, right? And it was just sort of, and for some reason it bothered me. And I know it shouldn't, because it had nothing to do with his technical ability, but it was just one little thing at the back of my head. So we had the interview, and there were certain things that when he didn't answer the questions very right, you know, when he stumbled, and everybody stumbles on some of the questions, but when he stumbled, it was like in my mind I'm thinking, you know, he's really doesn't know his stuff, and you know, and I think the reason is that it was like he didn't even prepare. Like he didn't even give it a second thought. He was just like, he just showed up. He just showed up off the street. And for all I know, he could have prepared a lot. He could have read through the website, everything like that. But it was just that little thing that bothered me. And you know, I think it covered the whole interview. I think he started from behind where he should have started just by getting that one thing wrong, right? And I've been in situations like this where I've done the same thing, where you go into something where I've been the one who is dressed inappropriately, and then I'm already starting from behind because I'm like because in my mind I'm thinking, I feel out of place here. I should have worn a suit. I should have done something like that. So it's just one of these things. So I think I always err on the side of caution and wear a suit. And I know exactly what you mean. You don't want to be that one guy wearing a full suit like a salesman, and you're like, "Oh, how's it going?" and everything. But you know, I think it's just, for me, it's just easier to do, and I that's going to be my policy forever, and you guys may completely disagree with it. See, the thing is, I don't like wearing a suit. I mean, I used to have to wear a suit to work every day, and to be all right, so when I was working in the financial sector, my first tech job was in an investment bank. Right, at first it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun because I felt like a grown-up. I put my suit on every day. I get on the train. I go into London. Oh, I'm a grown-up man. But then after like 3 or 4 months, I was like, man, why can't we just wear what we want, right? And also, why are we wearing everybody has like 1 or 2 suits, and nobody had a suit for every day of the week. So those suits, after a while, they started to get kind of rank and stinky, and it didn't seem very hygienic to me that we only changed our shirt and ties and underwear. But anyway, so, and anybody, if I go meet with a new client, all they have to do is watch any one of the videos to find out that I don't wear a suit every day. But the goal is that they know that I made the effort. They know that they were important enough that I put on the suit, that I ironed a shirt, that I showed up looking the way that I should show up. And if it's overdressed, then that's just the way it is. I have no problem looking like I'm trying too hard. I'm afraid of looking like I'm not trying hard enough, right? That's just me. Let me know what you guys think. Do you disagree? Do you think it's possible to overdress? I mean, aside from wearing a tuxedo, that's definitely overdressing. Do you think it's possible to overdress for a job interview or a meeting with a client? So anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.